All right, next up, Syracuse has hired former Georgia defensive backs coach Fran Brown as their new head coach. This one definitely an interesting hire. There are a lot of candidates that were in the mix for this job. Fran Brown, he was ranked the number 8 recruiter in the country according to 24/7 Sports, and I talked a little bit about this one last week. And he's also a New Jersey native. So Fran Brown, he's known for being a great recruiter, great relationships guy, and he's also familiar with the Northeast. I mean, he's from New Jersey, so he's got that background. You can kind of see this is the direction that Syracuse wanted to go here with this hire. So what's your grade here?
So, in formulating this grade, I'm looking back at Dino Babers' track record. And Dino ultimately finished, 41-55 and, had actually 2 winning seasons. And with hiring a Fran Brown here, I will go with a B minus. It doesn't wow me. I kind of thought Dino making a bowl game last year and then you fire him this year. I kind of saw no reason to really fire him. Now, I don't know what's going on internally at Syracuse, and I won't even pretend to know. And I mean, Fran Brown's got the experience and he's a recruiter, and that's awesome. But what's the future of the ACC really looking like? And how serious is Syracuse trying to take things right now? He may be able to recruit, but will he be able to retain? And it's his first head coaching job. And it's just one that doesn't blow me away. He comes from a great, staff with being under Kirby. And hopefully he can be a successful assistant as he now paves his head coaching career. But really, I just have nothing tangible to really look at to determine his track record. So that's why I think what did I said a B? That's why a B minus. That's why I think a B minus is appropriate, because maybe his ceiling is absolutely, huge, and he's gonna make Syracuse competitive in the next few years. Or maybe it's an absolute bust and they're doing this all again in 4 years. So really, I just don't know.
So I'm going to give this a C minus.
I like it.
I'm giving this a C minus because, listen, I look at this from the candidate himself and the process by which the school, the university, the athletic director / department got to this hire. The candidate himself, Fran Brown, I understand the direction that Syracuse was going in terms of, hey, we're going to get a guy that we know that can recruit. Syracuse is a very hard place to recruit at, and that's one of their biggest obstacles is just getting good players in the door in the facility. That being said, it's still Syracuse. Realistically, if you are a phenomenal recruiter, how much better of a player can you get in the door with Fran Brown versus Dino Babers? Now, you may be able to get some better players in the door, but are you going to get players to the point where you are like seriously raising the talent level of your program? Or is the difference going to be marginal? Now, if the difference is marginal, that's good. You're getting slightly better recruiting classes every year, but the question is, here's the whole thing with my grade here. There's risk in this hire. Fran Brown's never been a head coach anywhere. Like this is a huge risk here. How is Fran Brown going to be as a CEO? As the head football coach somewhere? Like he hasn't called plays. He wasn't the coordinator anywhere. We don't know what type of hires is he going to make. How is he going to be as a head football coach, a CEO? I mean, he may end up being phenomenal. I may eat my words here, but as of right now, this just seems like a huge risk for me. And at a place like Syracuse, you can't really afford that. So I would have rather personally, if I was Syracuse, I'd rather go for the X's and O's guys that I know is proven that can run a program. And that's part of the reason for my grade. The other reason is, man, there are some great candidates that were also in the mix for this job. I know Dan Mullen was in the mix for this job, potentially Bob Chesney, the Holy Cross head coach. I think either of those would have been great hires for Syracuse. I was slightly surprised to see they went this direction. And listen, there's a reason we're grading this, because we don't know. He's the Fran Brown tenure at Syracuse has not started, but as of right now, in terms of judging the process by which they got to hiring the coach and the candidate himself as of today, I give it a C minus. There's just a lot of risk with this. And I don't know if this is the correct direction to go at a place like Syracuse, but that's just me.
Hey, it could be a Dan Lanning or a Mike Bobo. I would say those are two very good spectrums to look at this.
I like that. That's the Dan Lanning, the Mike Bobo spectrum. I like that.